Today we're being joined by Grace Brooker, who's one of Essendon's newest AFLW recruits from a rugby background. Grace, thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Super excited.
No worries, anytime, Grace. Now, tell us a bit about your journey in sport, because you've never played footy before, so we're going to get to that. So how did the sporting journey start for you at first?
Yeah, so obviously I'm from New Zealand, and
Yeah.
rugby's massive over there.
Mm.
Not a lot of footy, a little bit of footy, but not a heck of a lot. There's a couple of games on TV and whatnot from over here, but yeah, other than that, not a lot. So grew up playing pretty much every other sport under the sun. Rugby was always my constant, but
Yeah.
alongside that, a bit of netball, basketball, some horse riding in there a little bit as well. So yeah, kind of did everything under the sun and stuck to rugby. Went to high school. I'm from out in the country, so went to boarding school in town where we had a all-girls rugby team, and that's when I kind of chose rugby over everything else. Started playing some rep rugby there, so for Canterbury under 18s. And in my last year of high school, I made the Canterbury women's team, which is like a provincial open women's team. Played a year for them and then got contracted into the Black Ferns, so the national New Zealand team for rugby. Played for the Black Ferns and the South Island team Matatu for the last 3 years and the Black Ferns for 6 years. Only getting a couple of test matches because of COVID mainly. And then got quite a serious knee injury in rugby in 2022, I think. Yeah. 2021. And spent 15 months rehabbing that and eventually got back to rugby. Got back into the Black Ferns and then last year lost my contract for the Black Ferns. But a big part of me is trying to be like the best athlete I can possibly be. And then that took me to trying to figure out, what was next. And that's kind of when the idea of footy popped up. So that's pretty much my journey so far.
Yep, that's good. So you talk about representing the country for the Black Ferns. How much of an honour was it? Obviously, representing every club is great, but when you have that high honour for country, how special was that for you? Whether it was 1 game, 2 games, no matter how much, how special was it to be recognised and be a part of that?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like, I grew up just loving rugby. Like, I had this massive passion for rugby. My grandma always tells me when I was 4 years old, I go up to her and say, I'm going to be an All Black, which is the men's team.
Yeah.
But obviously couldn't do that, so became a Black Fern. And yeah, it was pretty amazing to achieve your dream at quite a young age. But the honour of playing in those national colours is pretty spectacular. We talk about it all the time, how you put the jersey on and you feel like a superhero, you feel untouchable. So that was really, really awesome for me. I had my whole family there. Oh, well, my sister wasn't there, but I had the rest of my family there supporting me, and they followed my journey all the way through. And just the athletes that you learn from in that environment as well was something that probably doesn't talked about as much, but it's super, super special. So yeah, like honoring your country like that is second to none. The feeling is amazing. It's something you'll never forget as well.
For sure. Now, you obviously in the most recent competition, as you said, a pretty good year, obviously making this year's grand final. Unfortunately, the result didn't go your way though. But how was that last season as a rugby player for now until you take on and embark this AFLW journey?
Yeah, it was a really cool season. Matatu, my team, is something pretty special. We are all extremely, extremely close and take a lot of pride in rugby as a sport, and we like to, we like to do things a bit different. We don't like to settle for what's been working. We like to push the game a wee bit more. So I think we did that in the season. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get across the line in the end, but an absolute great season. We have some amazing coaches in there, our general manager as well always fights for, you know, expanding rugby and expanding women's rugby especially. So yeah, we're super, super grateful to have that opportunity to play in Matatu. Yeah, it's a pretty special team, but yeah, had a little I don't know, side hustle in the background with
Yeah.
footy potentially becoming into fruition, and yeah, here we
Mm.
are.
That's right. And how was it balancing that? Like, obviously, you knew while you were still playing in the most recent team you've been a part of, going to be on an AFLW list. How was it around that time talking to Essendon and finding out that it's going to happen or a possibility to happen? Did that kind of impact you playing rugby at the time during your season as well? How much did that impact you?
Yeah, it didn't impact me too much. Yeah, I got offered a contract. There's a few conditions in there that were only going to be clear at the end of the season, but
Yeah.
Essendon were amazing. Like Woody, the coach here, she was awesome. They
Mm.
set me up with everything I needed to know, but um, they knew how important this season was for me, and they were, sending me messages of support each week. But other than that, it was just completely rugby for those few months, and they were more than happy with that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was happy with that too, because it's a pretty short season, but you learn a lot in it, so it was pretty full on.
Mm. That's good, Grace. And then, in terms of being told, in terms of the football conversations, how was that going about when you were talking about? You said they let you keep playing rugby for the time being. So, did you know well in advance that they wanted to sign you? And did you know in your mind, Grace, that you wanted to take this opportunity, but just wanted to kind of let the rugby season pan out before making it kind of official?
Yeah, so I was super, super honest early on when we were having the conversations. This year is the Rugby World Cup, and
Yeah.
I was still putting my hand up for national selection, and that was
Hmm.
going to be the only reason why I wouldn't take up the Essendon contract.
Yeah.
And they understood that so much, and they, really supported. They're like, we want you here, but to represent your country is pretty special. So we
Mm-hmm.
understand that. So they were really awesome, and there was just open communication and everything like that. We kind of I've been talking to Woody for the last year or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Mm.
nothing like uh, official, but a lot
Yeah.
of, how does the AFLW list work? What channels do I need to go through to actually be involved with a team? A few
Yeah.
educational videos, because obviously I didn't know any of the rules. I'm still learning a lot of the rules, but
Mm.
yeah, just a lot of chat like that. And I think that's what really sold me on Essendon, was just the pure care that was shown by all the management and all the players there.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty special club, and they've proven that over the last week with their generosity and kindness.
That's good. So when it was officially announced, Grace, obviously, as you said, you were through a rugby season in New Zealand as well. Did you ever, at any point when it was officially announced or around that part, did you have to fly quickly over to Australia to get everything sorted and everything like that? Or was it all good that you got to do it back home and then continue with the rugby stuff?
Yeah, so what happened was I'd been living in Japan for 6 months before that, playing rugby there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd been talking to Woody and whatnot while I was in Japan and overseas. I'd come back for a week, had a training
Mm.
camp with Matatu, a
Yeah.
6-day training camp with them. And then the
Hmm.
next day flew to Melbourne to meet everyone and do some testing and
Yeah.
show some skill set and things just before, they offered me a contract, make sure that I was um, not useless, I guess. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
all through January, and then came back and cracked straight into our Super Rugby season.
Mm. How special does it? How valued do you feel to by Essendon that, as you mentioned, and we'll get to this next part surely, but like you didn't have any football background. You mentioned all the other sports under the sun that you mentioned that you played at any point, and footy obviously wasn't one of them. Being from another country, and you mentioned about Nat wanting to contact you within a year in advance. How valued do you feel now that, especially from Nat, that someone that had been contacting you that entire time, pretty much wanting you to come across, and now that's official, and they still took a punt on you without the football background.
Yeah, the irony is not lost on me.
Mm.
I'm pretty lucky that I've had some great mentors in the past that, no matter what challenge you're taking on, you take it with both hands and charge forward with that. So I was pretty. I didn't know if this was actually gonna, come into action. And then as it kind
Mhm.
of got closer to the time, I was like, oh, this is actually something that could
Mm.
happen. And then all of a sudden it happened.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not lost on me. Like, I really appreciate the risks that they're taking. But like I said, like, I'll do everything in my power to
Mm.
be the best player I can be. I don't want to be, you know, my hand held all the season. I want to actually be an
Yeah.
asset to the team and an asset to the club in any way that I can be. Definitely
Mm.
need to get some fitness up. A bit of a different fitness game, footy compared to rugby. But other than that, yeah, everyone's been amazing and helping me out, learning the skills and the rules.
Mm.
So we're slowly getting there, but
Mm.
yeah, it's a pretty special opportunity and one that's not lost on me.
That's good. And I can just see the smile on your face, how excited you are for this opportunity as well. And then you mentioned about arriving in Australia officially, that is, about a week or so ago. How's
Yeah.
it been in Australia and mingling in with some of the new teammates already?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Everyone's been so,
Mm.
so lovely. Like I said, like the kindness of the girls has been outstanding. They've just welcomed me with open arms. And then the
Mm.
management as well. I've already thrown quite a few questions out there and they're more than happy to answer everything that I ask. So yeah,
Mm.
couldn't really be any happier. I'm living with one of the other girls, so she's
Mhm.
getting an earful of questions every night. But yeah, so learning. Other than that, moving to Aussie was it's pretty similar to Christchurch. Melbourne and Christchurch pretty similar. I haven't actually been right in the heart of Melbourne yet, but
Mm.
yeah, that's still to come. But other than that, just getting all the admin stuff going, learning to drive around here. Bit reckless on the roads, I think, at the moment, but yeah, again, learning.
Yeah, learning everything. Now, is there any particular players that are kind of taking you under their wing, not just in this last week, but even once the announcement was official and when you were coming back and forth here? Who's some players that have kind of taken you under your wing so far? As you said, you want to be learning. You're talking about living with teammates as well. So, who's some players you kind of have taken you under their wing to kind of help you out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm living with Elise Gamble, so she's been absolutely amazing at um, helping me out, like taking me to a VFL game and explaining things to me.
Yep.
I was watching a game when she came home the other day, and I was asking her questions about that and everything. So she's been absolutely amazing. And then Bonnie Tugut has been, yeah, she's the ultimate player, really, isn't she? So all
Mm.
the technical questions I kind of hit her up about, and she's great at explaining how it all works and um, what the team's looking for. She's amazing with the skill set, like not just with me, but with some of the other younger girls. She's there after every training, teaching them how to do these different kicks or
Mm.
different tactical things. So they're two players that have been absolutely amazing, but the
Mm.
rest of the team has been just unreal.
Very good. And then the 173 centimeters, Grace. So, what type of role do they kind of have you envisioned for so far?
Yeah, we're not too sure at the moment. We're going to see
Mm.
how the preseason plays out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think somewhere that's a bit more physical and probably not a heck of a lot of running. Definitely not wing.
No, so you mentioned too about the rugby background, and obviously, I'm sure rugby, a major thing in that sport is obviously tackling, and you mentioned about similar hinting at that there as well. So, what are some of your strengths that you can kind of transition from rugby that you want to translate to AFLW as well?
Yeah, definitely that contact game. We've had a couple of contact trainings here, and it seems to
Yeah.
be all clicking into place pretty well. I was fortunate enough to have quite a bit of a kicking role within my rugby team as well. So it's
Yeah.
a bit of a different kick.
Mm.
But yeah, still the I don't know, the link up between brain and foot is there.
Mhm.
Yeah, other than that, the handballing is probably definitely the skill set that's going to take me the longest.
Okay.
I keep going to pass the ball and not handballing it out. But yeah, other than that, just the handballing and the fitness. other different
Yeah.
things. Everything else is pretty relatable. You know, high ball catching and catching
Yeah.
under pressure are pretty relatable.
That's good. So when you first did these unofficial training sessions about a week or so ago, Grace, was that the first time you ever even held an AFLW footy?
No, I've been like, because I thought this, you know, I guess I was manifesting it since last year. I went and bought myself a footy, and
Yeah.
it travelled all around the world with me, so to France and Ireland and Japan. So that was, but last year was the first time I'd handled a footy properly.
Yeah.
Before that, not a heck of a lot. One of my teammates in my club rugby team plays, or two of my teammates in my club rugby team play for New Zealand AFL.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes they'd bring a footy around, but you know, didn't get into it much before it was a real option for me.
That's good. And now you're talking about some strengths. You mentioned some things that you feel like can transition really well. Now, when you first held the footy for the first time at an Essendon level, at training or anything, are you trying to see how you hold the ball? Are you got Bonnie or anyone telling you, no, hold it like this? How were you like in the first type of drills and everything like that? How were you like? Were you like walking around trying to look at everyone going, hang on, how do I do this? Or like, were you fully across it, or how was all that?
Yeah. When I came over in January, I did a couple of skills sessions with Woody and a couple of the girls. And it was definitely, you know, starting at like the kids level, how to hold a ball and how to handball, and what part of the foot you're kicking off, how you're holding it, the ball, everything like that. So even now I'm still like, oh yeah, I've got to get into that space. It's not quite as natural as what my my rugby skills would be. But yeah, just put the hours in, and hopefully it becomes second nature, and hopefully I get on the field this year and, you know, show a bit of what I've learnt.
For sure. Now, of all the drills that you've kind of, or the type of, you know, talking about the handballing, the marking, and everything like that, of the drills that you feel like aren't your biggest strengths, which ones of all those type of skills do you feel like you're kind of catching on to pretty quickly compared to some of the others?
I'd say the marking is probably something that I'm starting to get a bit of a handle on. Yeah, just with the new situations, every new situations in training, I just ask who is beside me, like, is that right? Is that wrong? Do I need to do this? But I had a role in rugby where it was a bit different because we chased from behind the kicker to catch the ball. But I'd still go up and try and catch the ball in rugby. But it's a bit easier when you have to do it front on. So yeah, like learning a lot there, and just trying to get a bit of height, because I'm obviously not the tallest player. So yeah, trying to get the hops and get over top of people. I haven't been in a situation where I've had to do a specky yet, but looking forward to that.
Very good. Of all the roles that you could play going into this season, and you want to, you know, get everything going off really well, of all the drills, is there a drill or a type of drill, like whether it's a kicking drill or a handballing drill or anything, is there a drill so far right now that you just dread? You're like, I really don't hope I embarrass myself with this. Is it something to do with goal kicking that we've spoken about a little bit? Is it something to do with that? Is it something to do with handballing? You mentioned handballing before.
Yeah.
Is there? Which one is it?
Yeah, probably the handballing stuff. I need to take a little moment to get into the tram tracks a little bit. Yeah, and when they chuck in another ball there, it's kind of like juggling to me, like learning right from the start, practicing how to catch the ball properly and things like that. But the girls have been awesome. You know, when I pair up with someone, I'm like, okay, just bear with me for a bit, and they, you know, they do, and they help me out along the way. So yeah, the handballing is definitely the skill or the drill that yeah, I've got a long way to go.
What was that
Sorry.
one? Hey, you're all right. It wouldn't be. I've done that before myself, so I'm doing it on the phone as well. So nothing new. So that's all good. Now, what is like one of the moments that you realised, Grace, that footy was the path you wanted to go, and obviously you loved rugby and you still do, obviously, and wanted to pursue. And then you mentioned about Nat with the communication and about wanting to now come to footy. When was that moment? Because I'm sure you obviously had a decision to make in terms of whether you wanted to do it or not. When was that moment you realised, okay, I'm loving rugby so much, I still want to keep doing it, but I also want to pursue this AFLW potential journey. When did that moment click for you to go, I want to do this?
Yeah, it was kind of a forced thing. Like I said, I lost my Black Ferns contract. And
Yeah.
in New Zealand, there's only, if you're not a Black Fern, you have 3 months of a professional contract. Other than that, it's, working a 9 to 5 or whatever and playing amateur rugby. And one of my biggest things is, like, I just want to be the best athlete that I possibly can. So when that happened, I thought, I'm not done as an athlete. And the biggest thing was, when I was younger, a game of footy came on the TV back home in New Zealand, and my dad said, this is the greatest sport in the world. And I thought, oh yeah, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then when I had to make a decision, I was like, oh, I might like just put my name out for footy. I didn't think it was gonna, actually come into action, but here we are. But because a lot of the girls in my similar situation, obviously, league is professional over here in Australia as well. So a lot of the girls go to league because it's a lot more similar to rugby. But footy just seemed like this chaotic, absolutely athletic game that really spoke to me. And I love to be challenged and I love to learn things. So I thought footy would be the best thing for that. And then all the other things about it is just like extras, the people that play it are amazing. The facilities we get to train in are unreal. Like things that I've never had before as an athlete. So yeah, it's pretty special. We're very, very, very lucky as AFLW players. But
Yeah, you mentioned too before, Grace, about watching some VFLW games to kind of get a gist to it, I suppose, a little bit. Is there ever any plans? I know the preseason starts on Monday, so that probably won't happen now, but never know, never say never. Could there be a possibility where you're talking about building the skills up and kind of getting used to the level of playing footy from a match simulation point of view? Could there ever be a possibility that you may play some VFLW games, even if it's just one game, just to kind of get the feel of it a little bit? Yes, it's a level below, but it's still like a taste of football as a whole.
Yeah, I definitely, Woody has had that conversation with me, so it is a potential. I think we're just going to see how I kind of shape up. I'm still easing into the load of AFL. It's obviously a bit of a level up with the running and the different skill set, the 360 movement. So easing into it. But it's definitely a possibility. Like, I would love to get some boots on the ground before an actual big match. So. Yeah, I'd love to play as much as I possibly can. I wouldn't be too good at the moment. I'm still, very, very green. But yeah, I'd do everything I could on the field, and I'm sure it's the best way to learn, right? It's just to jump on it.
For sure. Now, obviously, when in the AFLW competition, I'm sure you've been aware, even while not being on the list, but just knowing about it, there's so many Irish players as well. So many international players playing in the AFLW. Now, obviously, there's so many AFLW players that are from Ireland. Now you're from New Zealand. Are you hoping that the Irish trend and flavour of the month or flavour of the year can kind of not go away, but have the Kiwis on top? And is there any teammates that you've been playing with over time that you feel like should try and transition over to footy to kind of put New Zealand over Ireland?
Yeah, I was actually talking to one of my best mates. She is pregnant at the moment, but she's a little ripper, a little halfback, so she's got the skill set and things. I definitely think there's a whole heap of players over there, like an untapped world, that they could definitely get into. Like I said, a couple of my teammates as well for club play in the New Zealand team, and they're pretty unreal. I think, one of my teammates has actually come over. She is in maybe Sydney. I've definitely got that wrong. Or the Gold Coast, and playing some VFL level there.
Nice.
She might be in Queensland. She's somewhere. I'm not sure.
One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. So I think, I think it was honestly kind of one of those things that wasn't really even an option for Kiwis to do this. So hopefully, I'd like to think that now that people have seen me come over here, they might want to put their name forward and try something different, and even if it is for VFL or even just like club footy, hopefully we start it. But I love the Irish. I spent 2 months in Ireland last year and played a bit of Gaelic football, so it was good fun. And the closest thing I have played to footy, so yeah, nice
Yeah.
learnings.
Well, that's actually accurate. Well, yeah, that's actually true. Now, in terms of like, I've obviously been from New Zealand, and the reason I brought this up with the island as well is the accents, and the accents are fantastic. I love the accents, and like I said, they're kind of taking over the AFLW competition with all the people from other countries as well. Have any of the new teammates kind of given you stick a bit about the accent and everything like that? I mean, they should be used to it because plenty of New Zealand people live in Australia too, and vice versa.
Yeah. Not too much. When I was in
Okay.
Ireland, I got a lot of stick, but not too much over here. One of our coaches is called Ben, and
Mm-hmm.
they asked me to say Ben, and they're like, "Oh, you actually say it pretty well." So,
You do.
yeah, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I haven't been called out yet. Maybe I need to. I've definitely been saying a lot of Kiwi things. I always say "a" after a question, like, "Oh, that's pretty
Oh
cool,
yeah.
eh?" Which is quite
Oh yeah.
Kiwi, and calling people bro and whatnot. So yeah, definitely got the Kiwi slang out that
Mm,
has been picked up on, but
mm,
not the pronunciation yet, which is I'm
mm.
okay with that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, bros are pretty bro or sis or whatever. It's a common thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all used
Mm,
to it. It'll probably
for sure.
come out thicker here.
For sure. Now I've got some quizzes slash games for you. They relate to
Okay.
AFLW and some relate to food. Now, I think you are one of the perfect people to ask food questions. Now, these are Australian food. Now,
Okay.
some of this you may have in America and whatnot, but these are also controversial food topics, Grace. So how I go with this, I ask you 6 food questions, and how you can gain a point is if I agree to your answer, that's how you get a
Okay.
point. See, I've asked
Perfect.
over. Yeah, I know. So let's see how you go. Now, the lowest score anyone's ever gotten is a bunch of people on 3. I've asked over 150 people these questions. So you want to join the fake honors board here. At this point, I
Yeah.
took the piss when I kept saying fake honors board. But now that I've gotten this far and no one's ever got under 3, legitimately, if you get under 3, I might actually generally
Put my
put the
name up.
name on the wall. And because at this point, I thought I was taking the piss at first. And then I'm like, you know what? No, it's gotten this far and no one's ever gotten that low, but let's see. Hopefully, you don't get that low. But the
Yeah.
first one is chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
Okay. I haven't had one, but I had the education on it, and apparently here we say Palma.
Okay. Who's the culprit that's given you the wrong names?
Our PDM, Lauren Spark, she won't like getting run over on the bus, but yeah, a
Oh,
Palmer.
wow. Well, she's wrong because you want to. I'll tell you why, Grace. So I always tell everyone this, Grace, and hopefully I can convert you over. Then you can go back to Loz and you can go tell her, no, I actually have changed my mind. It's now this because of X, Y, Z. What I would say, Grace, is for people that say that, I'm going to give you half a point because you got suck it into saying that. So I'm going to give you half a point. So I would say to people, Grace, I'll tell them to spell it. It's Parmi, no A. So where's the A come from? And it's pronounced Parmigiana. So where's the A in the pronunciation? You see what I mean? It's like
I gotcha. She told me that would be the argument as well, and I was like, oh, okay.
See, if they're telling you that's the argument, Grace, doesn't that kind of tell you that they know it's true, but they just don't want you to say that because they don't say it?
Yeah, fair. Okay, I'll take the half point.
We'll take the half point. Yes, could we get you half the way point over the line? Right, the next one, tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
I'm fridge.
No, that's fine because I give a point to everyone for this one. That's probably why no one's got under 3. But in saying that, if someone says neither, then that'll be the only way they don't get a point. So you're 1.5 for 2. It's a good start.
Okay,
right. The next one, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Damn it. All right, 1.5 out of 3. That's okay.
I'm going to be the first one under 3. Nah, that's all right. I'm okay with it.
It's funny. Some people have, fun fact too, someone started 0-3, multiple people have, and they somehow won. So they didn't get under 2-11. So I think that half point might save you here. So you're welcome. Right. The next one. Favorite food.
My favorite food is chocolate.
Love that answer. So that's guaranteed points. 2.5 out of 3. Good start. See, we're getting there. Need another half or another full point, and you're good. Food you don't like, Grace?
Oh, food I don't like. Anchovies.
Yeah, you're through. You got another question to go, but you're through. 3.5 out of 5. So you're on fire.
Fantastic.
And no fake honours board
Fantastic.
for you. No fake honours board. Oh, I mean, if you want to intentionally get questions wrong to get on there, but that's fine. And the last one, favorite takeaway / restaurant place. It doesn't have to be an actual location, but more so like a type, really.
Oh, I don't even know what you've got over here, but I love Mexican.
Okay, that counts. It doesn't have to be an
Yeah.
Australian food, by the way. It could be anything.
Yeah. I don't know. What are some Mexican like I love nachos and burritos.
Yes. Okay, I'm giving you a bonus point. You're getting 2 points for that. So 4.5.
Oh yes.
I love burritos. Mate, people take the piss out of me when I bring up saying I love burritos. So they try and say I'm Mexican, but I'm not even Mexican. I'm not Italian. I'm part English, Maltese, and Australian. I am not Mexican, but that's what people keep thinking because I say that. No, I love burritos. Now, the bonus point, this is actually going to get a bonus point if you get this. What is your go-to burrito order? Like, what would you put on it?
Oh, I'm like a bit of everything. I like either, I'll choose one, but I like either mince or chicken. But I'd probably go mince. And then like every vegetable under the sun, some brown rice, refried beans. And then I'm a medium salsa, like a bit of heat in there.
Yes.
Sour cream, heap of sour cream, bit of avocado. Yeah, that's probably it.
Now, you know what's funny? You just started listing my favourite order just then, except for the sour cream and avocado bit. But the rest of it, you nailed it. And I did not give you the script. There is no script to these answers. I didn't tell Grace to say. No, so 5.5 out of 6. See, what are you worrying about? You got 5.5.
Yeah, all good. All good.
This is great. Amazing. Now, for context, I should have said this from the start, but about 13 people have only got 6 out of 6. Actually, I lie. 2 people somehow got 7 out of 6, if that's even possible, because they got a bonus point.
Right,
so,
gotcha.
So, well, a pretty good success rate. And if it wasn't for Loz, you may have got 6 out of 6. So,
yeah.
You know, you can blame her for that a little bit. Now, I want to do a bit of a word association, Grace. So I'm going to say some words, and you're going to tell me the first thing that comes to mind with these things. So the first thing, rugby.
All Blacks. Oh, that's really
All right.
bad. Should have said Black Ferns.
Yep. Food.
A burrito.
Good one. Bonnie Too Good.
Amazing.
Okay. Good one. Nat Wood.
Super smart.
Okay. Tackling.
Fun.
Footy is in AFLW.
Yeah. Points.
Point, or hopefully kick goals, not points, but yes.
Well, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. And Essendon.
Home.
No, good answer. Right, now this is going to be a quiz. Now, normally, because of your transition from another sport, I've readjusted these questions to much easier, but they may not be as easy considering you've just joined a sporting club or an AFLW club. So I've been very generous, Grace. Normally, how I do is I give them 3 clues of the individual. I tell them the first 2. They have to give a guess. If they get that wrong, then I give them a 3rd clue. But for you, I'm being so generous. So I've kind of readjusted the whole quiz setup to... Now, I'm going to give you initials of people's names. So, for example, yours is GB, right? So... Sorry, what's that?
Your speaker's just a wee bit fuzzy at the moment.
Now, apologies everyone for technical difficulties, but we'll push through like we always will. Now, Grace, so this is pretty simple. We will give you the initials of someone's name, and you're going to try and guess which teammates these are relating to. The first one is BT.
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 Oh, I have no idea. Did you say BT or VT?
Yeah, BT.
Bonnie?
Yes, it is Bonnie. Too good. Perfect. You said you'll get none to me. You just said you'll get none. And you're 1 for 1. You're on fire. Now, the next one, MB.
What was that one?
MB.
B. B. Matt Bush.
Mia Bush, yes. 2 for 2.
Nice.
Great job. So you're on fire. What were you worrying about?
I thought you were going to do.
Taking the piss at this point. GC.
What was that one?
GC.
GC. Oh, it's GC in my team, but I actually can't remember her proper name because we call it GC.
All right. So I'll give you the answer then. Georgia Clark.
Clark, of course.
There we go. Oh, you know the nickname. See, this is why it's kind of like a bit of an introduction in a way. Like they give you, they introduce you to everyone, right? You shake their hand or whatever. You give them a hug or whatever. You say hi, I'm blah blah blah. So they give you the nickname, but they don't give you the real name straight up. So it's like, so what is your actual name, by the way? So something like that. Exactly. Yeah, they're throwing you under the bus. Yeah, they're throwing you under the bus. Now, second last one, SW.
SW.
Yep.
You got to tell me if these are my teammates or not.
So they're a ruck.
Steph Wales.
Yes, Stephanie Wales. Yes, say 3 for 4. Good job. Last one. AG.
AG.
Yep.
AG.
Yes. See, I don't know if you're intentionally underselling yourself, Grace. You've knocked it out of the park with the food questions. You knocked it out of the park with word association. And now you've knocked it out with the name association. Yeah, on fire today.
Oh, I appreciate it. You went easy on me. I thought you were literally going to do like anyone from AFLW, AFL. So, yeah, you went easy on me.
No. See, I'm always nice to my guest, Grace. I always I put some hard ones in there, but I don't want to make it insanely hard.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's right. Now, the last question for you, so I do really appreciate you coming on, Grace, and taking some time out of your day. Now, long-term footy goals, Grace. What are your long-term ambitions for AFLW?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm focusing on 1 year at a time. Like I said, I want to make as best of impact that I possibly can for the team and the club. We'll see if I'm good enough to maybe extend. That's always a possibility. But I'll do everything I can to just have an awesome year and play as well as I possibly can.
Very good, Grace. No matter how long it lasts, you can at least say that you made it on a list, and not everyone can clearly say that at any level in any sport. You've been on in plenty of rugby lists. Now you're on an AFLW list, Grace. It's great to have a chat to you, and hopefully we'll chat again soon, and then you have a long career in the AFLW. Really appreciate you coming on.
I love it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.